In this video, I work on the train tracks going in the city, take a little Lego road trip to the local Lego store 2 hours away, also meet up with Rex and begin the base for the Ninjago Train Extension. Hey everybody, Brickin here, and I was told by Dex that he wants the train to be going around the city real soon, so I had a bunch of parts already organized that I ordered. Now it's time to be working on the train tracks. Oh wait, not yet. But first, let's work on this. Here's the remainder of our last train track. I put it over here strategically on the floor. I thought in a nice spot where you'd be out of the way, but I keep hitting it. And now that I'm not going to be using the supports underneath the train track anyways, I am just going to remove all those parts, get them all organized, and start working on the train track. It seems really simple, but I'm sure something's going to come up. I'm also waiting on one last order from Brickin, which is just one order from Brickin, and it's taking a little bit of time to come to me. Hopefully it arrives soon. It did arrive soon, and here's a first look at the new train tracks that I came up with. In between this clip and the last clip, I didn't show all the hard work that went in to remove all the parts from the previous track that went around the city. They were reinforced with layers of tracks and multiple plates. The new system I came up with is a lot simpler and cleaner. Possibly something you would see in a real city. It only uses the top of the previous track and one layer of these panels capped off with a plate. The straight track was the easiest to make, which is typical when dealing with Lego tracks, because the curves begin to complicate things. I took my time and came up with this fairly simple design that allows for this nice curve using these panels and filling in the gaps where the panels cannot touch, usually on the inside of the track. In order to maintain the strength, I decided to add a support track underneath the curve. It's not exactly what I like to see, however, for this design, I think it's necessary. I believe I'm only going to need the extra support tracks in some corners where I don't have space to place support columns. In the last video, I placed the tracks with the shops below, but I specifically left the end of the build open where I have a split track. This was because at the time of the build, I had no idea what my tracks were going to look like. Now that I have the design I came up with for the switch track, I did have to remove it from the build in order to finish it off, but as you can see here, it's fairly solid. All it needs now is to be placed back into the city with more tracks added. Here's a speed build of me making the corner coming out of the split tracks. This will lead into the city going around the future Krusty Burger. I placed my first curve beside me as I build, so I can work off that design to keep it consistent. I did have to take apart the original build a little bit so I could see what was going on inside in order to replicate it. It's a bit of trial and error as I go along, but once a few sections are complete, it's just repeated over and over again. This section was a little bit more complicated than the first 90-degree curve I made. This is due to the curved piece on the one end going the opposite direction, which means a new order to the parts going on the track to fill in all the gaps. For now, I'm going to try to leave off the extra support track underneath the curve. This is because I believe I can support this section more. In the end, I'm very happy with how these curved and straight tracks came out. After finishing these sections, I eventually finished up 2 more sections of the track, which will help complete the track system around the entire city. We're at Sherway Gardens. It's time to go into the Lego store, see if they have the Lord of the Rings poster. I really want that. And maybe some pick-a-brick, hit the pick-a-brick wall up. I've been going to Yorkdale Mall recently, and they have a newer setup inside the store in a newer pab wall, but it's a lot smaller. Apparently it's some sort of kind of testing pab wall that they're doing. I don't know. Anyways, the Sherway Gardens has a lot better of a selection, so let's go check it out because we're doing a lot more work in the city, and we're gonna need some more parts. Here's the outside of the Sherway store and a little shot of the inside as well. Not too busy today. Now let's take a quick look at the loot. We got a Disney Magic set, some Pick-a-Brick boxes, as well as a Pick-a-Fig. Across the road is a Toys R Us, so I wasn't going to not stop by. One thing cool about this store, it has a brick-built Captain Rex. It's always neat seeing sculptures of Lego out in the wild. So we ended up stopping by Toys R Us for sure, and got some poly bags here. So I bought these in preparation for future sales. I like to give out minifigures usually, and there was a good deal for when you buy a couple minifigures together, so I thought let's buy some of those for future orders to give those out, because I think every order I've ever had, I've always given out at least one minifigure, or recently this one gentleman's bought off me 4 times now in a row and seems to like Star Wars, so I started throwing in some Star Wars stuff in here. So got another Star Wars poly bag for any future Star Wars fans maybe. So that's it. Let's go home and relax. All right, so I'm back in the Lego room. Got my nice big Lego bag with me here. Let's see. Okay, oh, this is the big reason why I went there today. Lord of the Rings sweet printed poster, and there's two. What? So that's sick. I told the guy I came a couple hours all the way out for these, basically, and they had just a stack sitting there. I contacted the one Toronto Lego store at Yorkdale. They said they sold out like immediately. And then I called Sherway Gardens, and they said that they had a huge stack. Not sure where it's going to go on the walls yet, but it'll probably end up going on our or near our Lord of the Rings displays. But very cool. I'm glad I got a copy of this. 2 copies, technically. What up? All right, let's see what else is going on in this room. We got a mess. So these are all sets that need to be added to our online store right here. These ones are used sets that are clean. I think one of them is the NASA Discovery. We got a Saturn V rocket. Inside here we have the Sanctum Sanctorum and Peter's apartment set with all the minifigures. R2-D2 and Yoda are in these boxes right here that need to be added to the store. And then we got this Technic 4x4 like snowmobile, I guess. Not snow vehicle. And we got a little duster underneath it. And check this out right here. This set is the most recent set I've added to online, and when I sell it, I'm gonna be adding in this Technic bag as well. So if you are a big fan of Technic, go to the store right now and buy it, because I made a little video on it. This set I'm selling for $240. It averages $250 over the last 6 months, and currently the average on Bricklink is $300, $310 or something. So nice little deal. If you like this Technic set, it could be yours. Over here, where we have the section that's going to be going behind our Ninjago area to connect our train tracks to Ninjago. This height right here is going to give us, I think, about 2 plates away from where I need it here. So I was thinking about maybe doing some wedges, stacking a couple layers of wedges to kind of give that cool little rockwork look, possibly. Or maybe just add a couple layers of plates at the bottom down here. This area right here, I'll show you, is going to be mainly hidden behind our Ninjago city. The passengers are probably going to have to unload over in this section here, which means I'm going to have to also make some sort of train platform and staircase to get down into Ninjago. Oh my gosh. All right. So obviously somebody was playing. I could have been Rosie, but most likely, oh, this is where all these parts are coming from. Weston brought a bunch of parts upstairs and I wasn't sure where they came from. This is where he got them from. That's okay. Over here we have some of our train track system and some of our supports that we're going to be using to, oh, we're missing one. There's a big one here. So, oh, that Weston dude, he's a troublemaker. Anyways, I'll figure that out eventually. And this right here is going to be our curve. I'm really happy with how this came out. You can see on the bottom I added another section of track that's just there for support. So I want to be able to put this over top of the road and not have tons of supports holding it up. So with this section right here, I'm going to have a support at the end of that gray section and a support at the end of that gray section there. And when it's all connected to the train track, this is not going anywhere. Here you can see this is just the straight track, and I'm holding it in the middle, and it's actually pretty strong. There's going to have at least 3 or 4 supports holding this up. And I'm really happy with how this came out. I didn't have to add any supports underneath. In between the plate and the track, there are bricks connecting each section. So it's actually really strong. What I ended up doing was running out of these smaller panel pieces. I liked using the longer panel pieces for the straight, and for the curved, I'm using these smaller sections. So I actually have an order from PAB, and it's arriving today. I might be able to finish off making these curved sections. And then once these are finished, there's no reason not to be able to finish off another straight section and possibly get these back into the city. It would be pretty crazy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got those 4. yeah, so where did it go? Oh, you know what? Westy didn't do anything. It was me. During the building process of the Ninjago extension, I unfortunately didn't film too much of the structure being built on its own. So in the next video, I'm going to move Ninjago out of the way to get a better look at the structure, as well as what it looks like built complete in the city. Remember to make time for yourselves, your family, and your Lego. Take care. All right, here we are at Sherway Gardens, and that's really zoomed in. Zoom out here.